I'm not an angel. I will not be one till I die. You must neither expect nor exact anything celestial of me, for you will not get it, any more than I shall get it of you, which I do not at all anticipate.
One word can sometimes be sharper than 1,000 swords.
We never shape the world shapes us.
My spirit, this is a new thought. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but it suggests I'm a fighter, in a sort of brave way.
Oh, it's delightful to have ambitions. I'm so glad to have such a lot, and there never seems to be any end to them. That's the best of it.
Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte.
Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor.
Lena, A Mercy by Toni Morrison.
Katniss Everdeen, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery.
When you're a little girl, it's nice to read about other little girls like you.
Little girls who are funny.
Silly.
Loud.
Smart.
Confident. And when you're a teenager, the characters you relate to become a little more
Grown up.
Opinionated.
Passionate.
Strong.
and confused at the same time because it's hard being a teenage girl.
There's so much nobody tells you about.
How to act.
How people see you.
What to wear.
What not to wear.
Don't do this.
Don't wear that.
That's not very ladylike.
Stop being so emotional.
Be polite.
They're not too polite so they get the wrong impression.
Nobody told me all the rules that come with being a teenage girl.
Those books I used to read as a little girl with the characters I loved.
Did they have rules? Should they have prepared me for life and every time older?
Why didn't our primary teacher sit us down on the last day of school and say, "Here you go, girls, here's a list of 101 things not to do now that you're growing up. And if you flip over the page, there's another 6,031 rules." My apologies, 6,032 rules. There's another one added this morning.
Wait, can we actually make that happen? I would have appreciated a heads up about all the
Shh! Girls aren't allowed to swear.
Rule number 678.
Wonderful.
Look, there's a lot to unpack here.
Like, a lot.
So let's go way, way back to figure out how we got here.
Hello, and welcome to the 1800s. What a time to be alive. Queen Victoria is on the throne, slavery has been abolished, and a law has passed, meaning that all children aged 5 to 10 must go to school.
Yay.
Yay!
Huzzah! And if you're a woman, you can, oh yes, own your own property.
Oh, that's good. Yay!
If you're married. And in 1870, a law passed, meaning that English women who got married could keep up to £200 of money they earned themselves.
What about the rest of it?
And Scotland followed suit only 7 years later. Yay for keeping a little bit of your own money!
What was actually good for women in the 1800s?
Well, I mean, towards the end of the 19th century, the women's suffrage movement really began to gain momentum.
So women got the right to vote in the 1800s?
No, maybe check a different century. Right now, all women are denied the right to vote. But you'll be pleased to know that here in the early 1800s, the acclaimed author, Jane Austen, is writing and publishing her novels.
Wow! And did she make lots of money from them?
No! She had never lived above the poverty line, which at this time is an earning of £55 a year. Hooray for underpaid women writers!
Let's move on to the next century now, please.
Hello, welcome to the early 20th century. It's 1918 and women have been given the right to vote.
Yay!
Every over 30.
What?
And on property.
What if you're a woman who isn't over 30 or don't own property? When do they get the right to vote?
Look, I don't know if you know this, but we're a bit busy right now. Ever heard of the Spanish flu or the Great War or the workers' strikes?
When do all women get the right to vote.
In 1919, Lady Astor was the first woman to take her seat in Parliament. A big step. And in the same year, the Sex Disqualification Removal Act made it illegal for women to be excluded from most jobs. So they could now become magistrates, solicitors, and barristers.
When did all
women get the right to vote?
Please move on to the next decade.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's 1928, okay? The 7th of May, 1928. All women over 21 are given the right to vote, which is the same voting rights as men at the time.
1928. That took ages.
Thank you for visiting the early 20th century. Please move on to the 1940s.
Wait, why did it take so long for...
Goodbye.
Well, hello. It's 1940 and Winston Churchill is Prime Minister. We are at war.
Still?
Nope. This is a different one. We're in the middle of the Second World War. In December 1941, the government passed the National Service Act, which made provision for the conscription of women. Women had to choose between entering the armed forces or working in the farming industry. This was a time when women started to gain a new sense of power. Different women could talk down air crews, break codes, track battleships, drive 10-ton trucks, and save lives.
Amazing. So women's potential was being recognised by the government and they were given substantial roles.
Yes, but they still had to go on running the home. After a 10-hour day in the factory, a woman would still have to do the shopping, housework, and feed her family on rations.
Oh, but I suppose when the war ended and the men came back, they were able to split the work and care between them?
Afraid not. When the war ended, women were expected to go back to the home. Some women came together to try and promote an equal society, but at this time, society was too ingrained in the idea of men's and women's roles, so this didn't work out.
Let me get this straight. Women took up all the work that the men used to do, and when the men came back, everyone just pretended like it didn't happen, and women couldn't do what men could anymore.
Pretty much, but divorces skyrocketed after the war, for many reasons. One of them being that a lot of women now felt empowered to choose their own destiny, not the one their husband had chosen for them.
But what about the other women? Didn't they want to choose their own destiny?
Well, they were exhausted. They had worked pretty much non-stop during the war effort, doing traditionally men's roles. And now that it was over, a lot of them wanted to feel feminine again, and dedicate time to raising their children and making home for themselves.
Okay, but what about...
Welcome to the 1960s.
Speaks. God. What's wrong with you?
This is a very exciting time for the whole world. The first human has just walked on the moon. Doctor Who first appears on TV. And the average house price in the UK is only £2,530.
Hey, what was life like for women in the 60s?
Brilliant! They can open a bank account in their own name and have a mortgage of their own.
Finally, some good progress.
As long as they have permission of a male relative or a male guarantor.
Oh, come on.
But women now make up a large part of the workforce, working alongside their male peers.
Oh, well, at least women are getting paid some decent money, finally.
Kinda. Until 1960, women could not earn equal pay to men for the same job. But the 1968 walkouts from female workers in the Ford car factory from Dagenham were instrumental in bringing about the 1970 Equal Pay Act. So women are now receiving equal pay to men.
So what happened from then to now? Why do we have a gender pay gap?
Not my decade, sorry. But listen, women here in the 60s can do a hard day's work, and afterwards, they can go to a pub and have a pint just like any man can. Unless the pub refuses to serve you. It is perfectly legal to refuse to serve women in British pubs, which are traditionally male environments.
Fantastic. Can we get off this history tour bus now?
Welcome to...
Oh no, not the
1980s.
1980s.
I can't take much more of this.
Stop the bus.
Well, that was depressing.
Tell me about it. I spent ages doing this here.
Anyway, let's move on.
Things have obviously been hard for women for a long time. But things must be better now, right?
If things were better, I don't think we'd be making this film.
Oof.
That's deep.
Thank you.
Nowadays, it's statistically.
I don't want to hear any more stats.
But
No more stats. Can we have some actual women?
what am I, a fish?
No, like actual women. I mean, we want to hear their experiences.
Yeah, that would be.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And it's time for Blind Dame.
Blind Dame.
Blind Dame.
What is Blind Dame?
It's back in the 80s.
Why are we back to the 80s?
Because everyone else got their decade except me. We're in the 80s now, alright? As I was saying, welcome to Blind Dame. It's like the 80s show Blind Date, except the people we can't see and want to find out more about are famous women. Blind Dame!
That is a reach.
Deal with that. Let's meet our contestant. Let's have our first question from contestant number 1.
When were you born?
I was born on the 7th of November, 1867. Okay, so she's dead.
Rude.
Sorry. We're trying to guess who they are, so I need to have all the facts.
Where were you born?
In Warsaw, Poland. What did you do when you were alive? Sorry, again. I was a scientist.
What made you want to go into science?
I always had a thirst for knowledge. I never lost this passion.
Did you discover anything as part of your experiments?
I did. I discovered the existence of 2 previously unknown elements, polonium and radium.
Did you get your work recognised in any sort of way?
I was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first and only woman to win the Nobel Prize twice, and the only person to win the Nobel Prize in 2 different scientific fields. Wait, I know who it is. It's Marie Curie.
Absolutely correct. It is indeed Marie Curie.
Marie, can I ask, how does it make you feel that nowadays more women are going into science?
It feels like my legacy lives on. There are many more discoveries still to be made and plenty of women to discover them. Always follow your passion. If you want something badly enough, nothing can stop you from achieving it.
Thank you, Marie Curie. On to contestant number 2. Here's a hint. This contestant is still alive today.
I have just graduated from Oxford University and I'm grateful that I was still able to complete my education despite the global pandemic.
What are you most proud of?
Probably being the youngest person to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, of course, Malala.
Again, here we have Malala Yousafzai.
And then
A
Gora,
spokesperson
Pakistan, but I
and
now live in
activist
the
for
UK.
girls' worldwide.
you felt?
Malala spoke publicly about girls' rights to an education, and this made her a target.
On October 2012, on my way home from school, a masked gunman boarded my school bus and asked, "Who is Malala?" He shot me in the left side of my head.
You're known across the world, and because of you, big changes have happened.
I tell my
Correct.
story not because it is unique, but because it is the story of many girls. With 130 million girls out of school today, there is more work to be done. I hope you will join my fight for education and equality. Together we can create a world where all girls can learn and lead.
The one for Malala, everybody. Contestant number 3, please. Here's a hint. This contestant was born in New York.
When were you born?
I was born on October 11th, 1884, and died on November 7th, 1962. What is your life motto? It might not be a motto per se, but I have been known to say a woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water.
Interesting. Did you have quite a powerful voice when you were alive? Did people listen to you?
One question at a time, please. We don't want to bombard the First Lady.
First Lady?
Are you allowed to tell us that?
I thought we had to find out on our own.
Yeah, so apologies. Contestant number 3, let's get back on track. The last question was, did you have a powerful voice?
Thank you. I did. I was indeed First Lady of the United States of America from 1993 to 1945. When I was alive, I made several changes, including allowing women correspondents into the White House press conferences and ensuring women were employed in the wire services in case important news broke. I was an avid political speaker and was passionate about child welfare, housing, reform, and equal rights for women and racial minorities.
Of course.
Oh, of course. It must be Eleanor Roosevelt.
Correct.
What was life like for you after your time as First Lady came to an end?
I was appointed as a delegate to the United Nations and served as chairman of the Commission on Human Rights. I played a major role in the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Wow, that's amazing. And when you left?
Time for our final contestant. Contestant number 4.
Why do you keep interrupting the contestant?
Our final contestant is...
Why do you keep interrupting us?
Rule number 5, always be polite.
But you're not being very polite to us.
I'm not a girl, I'm an 80s game show host. I don't have to follow the rules.
That's not very fair.
Contestant number 4 is a young woman from Sweden.
Hi, contestant number 4.
Hello.
Are you still in school?
I am, but I took a gap year last year.
What? Can we do that? Was that in the rules?
I don't think so, mate. I think contestant number 3's just been skiving. What are you doing?
I'm telling my mum I'm taking a gap year from school.
Aye, right you are.
Focus, people. Number 4. What did you do in your gap year?
I was campaigning for political leaders to tackle climate change.
Buzz, I think it's...
You don't have to buzz, there's not even a buzzer. Are you just making a buzz sound with your mouth?
Buzz, I think it's...
It's Greta Thunberg.
Come on, I buzzed first.
That is no buzzer!
80s game shows were a riot, man.
A big round of applause for our final contestant, Greta Thunberg.
What made you want to start your activism work?
I think it's no secret that our planet is dying. It needs our help. I was 15 when I first started protesting and gave up my education to fight for what I thought was important. World leaders invite me to speeches, but it shouldn't be me up there. It shouldn't be us, the young people. The adults before us put us in this crisis, and they shouldn't need me to tell them to fix it. But here we are, and the fight continues.
Thank you to our lovely contestants. Did you guess them all right at home? I've been your game show host, Smiley Big here, and this has been Blind Dame. Good night!
Well, that was energetic.
Very.
Why is it everyone we've met so far has been so happy, sugarcoating everything?
Yeah. All that stuff women had to go through during history was not fun.
Maybe that's part of it though. Like, if people with power are smiling and saying, this is just how things are.
This is normal.
This is good for you.
Then it makes it harder for us to change things.
All those women before us fought so many battles and won a lot.
And it won't have been easy.
But what about Malala and Greta? It sounds like we're still fighting today.
What about the other stuff? The stuff that you feel bad for bringing up?
What do you mean?
Like, when you see Malala fighting for girls' right to an education in our countries, and then you think about the stuff that you have to go through as a girl here, you feel guilty about it. You feel like I should just deal with it because there's girls
That
who are...
other stuff is still important, and the way it affects you is also still important.
Because if some of that stuff makes you feel small, and it's only happened to you because you're a girl, then it's all part of the same big thing.
The big thing that makes you feel silly for questioning it.
The big thing that told you that pink is for girls and blue is for boys.
Big thing that said, boys don't cry.
Girls mature faster than boys.
Boys will be boys.
The big thing that your parents worry about when you're out alone.
The big thing that made up all those rules.
Exactly, like we said at the start, being a teenage girl is hard.
People want to put us into a one-size-fits-all box because we're easier to handle that way.
It's easier to chastise us if we don't fit in that box.
But listen, none of the labels in that box fit me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or any of us.
I am not weak.
An object.
A crybaby.
Worthless.
Mean. I am not rude.
Destined for one thing.
A gold digger.
I am not yours.
I am happy.
I am weird.
I'm strong.
I am powerful.
I am my own person.
I am worth it.
Deserving.
Amazing.
Human.
Learning.
I am equal.
I am a feminist.
I am making a difference.
I am.
It's us.
We are the storybook characters come to life.
This is our story.
We are writing it.
And we're making some big changes.
By listening.
By changing people's minds.
By using my voice.
By lifting the voices of others.
By being persistent.
By healing the wounds left by those before us.
By striving for something better. For all of us, whatever it looks like.
By throwing out the rule book made for us.
This is only the first step, and in the grand scheme of things, it's probably quite small.
But one step forward is still one step.
Even if there are 1,000 steps to climb.
So, let's get started on step 2.